Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. Over the past decade, Cartoon Network has rebooted and revived a lot of their former series. We've obviously seen the Ben 10 reboot and the Powerpuff Girls reboot. We've seen the revival for Samurai Jack in Season 5, the revival for Total Drama Island. We've seen Adventure Time Fiona and Cake in Distant Lands. We're getting Adventure Time Heyo Bimo, the movie, side quest, regular show Lost Tapes, and The Amazing World of Gumball Season 7. It's inevitable that more series are going to join in Cartoon Network's reboot and revival party. We've recently had a bit of news on Twitter break that is a bit surprising when it comes to the next potential series that could be getting a reboot or a revival on Cartoon Network. I almost forgot. We also have that Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends reboot revival series and Foster's Fun Time for Imaginary Friends, plus that Powerpuff Girls revival as well. But nevertheless, apparently Class of 3000 might be getting a revival series on Cartoon Network or a reboot on Cartoon Network. This is all coming from a Twitter post that JMasterKing1 on Twitter let me know about. And quick side note, guys, if you ever see a piece of news that you want me to talk about in a video, just shoot me a tweet on Twitter. I'll take a look at it. I often do check my Twitter to see what news is happening around the world of Cartoon Network. But nevertheless, Andre 3000, who was the creator of Class of 3000, said recently that we're hoping to do something new with it in some type of way. So yeah, stay tuned. And this is just a really strange thing to me to be reading and to be seeing. Like, look, I like Class of 3000 back in the day when it was on Cartoon Network. I enjoyed the show, but at the end of the day, when you look at Cartoon Network's library of series and all of the shows they could potentially be bringing back, from Symbionic Titan to the Powerpuff Girls, which is getting a revival as we all know, to Ben 10, to Codename Kids Next Door and Galactic Kids Next Door, Megas XLR, I could keep listing off original Cartoon Network series to you guys that fans want to see return. You're picking Class of 3000 to come back, and I should say you're picking Class of 3000 because in all honesty, this just might be something that Andre 3000 wants to do, and Cartoon Network, maybe he's in some preliminary discussions with them about making a potential revival series, but quite frankly, spoiler alert, I really don't think this show is going to happen. I think this is probably something that Andre 3000 wants to do. Maybe he's having some preliminary discussions with Cartoon Network on bringing this show back, but at the end of the day, I really don't think it's going to happen. Like, if you look at all the shows, as I said before, that Cartoon Network has in their library that could come back, and you look at Class of 3000, like, again, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed Class of 3000 when it was on the air, but it was a show that had 2 seasons, which consisted of 28 episodes, 2 of which went unaired. It was only on from November 3rd of 2006 to May 25th of 2008. It's not like it was this uber popular series back in the day, so to me, it really doesn't make sense to be bringing a show like this back when you could be taking your resources and putting it towards a Galactic Kids Next Door revival series for Codename Kids Next Door, or making a Symbionic Titan Season 2, something that fans have wanted to see, or even making Teen Titans Season 6. I know that's not a Cartoon Network original series, but a lot of people want to see that as well. The 6th iteration of Ben 10. I could go on and on and on as to the things that people want to see, the shows that people want to have return, the Great Adventures of Billy and Mandy movie, Destroy Us All. There's a lot of potential in old Cartoon Network series coming back that I think deserve to come back. I'm sorry to say that Class of 3000 is not one of those series. Class of 3000 doesn't make any sense to return, at least in my opinion. Would it add an ounce of variety to Cartoon Network's current lineup? Yeah, it would. It would be a different series on the channel, which obviously that would be a good thing. But the way that Warner Brothers Discovery works, the way they're penny pitching every single decision that they make, in my view, if they make Class of 3000, let's say they call it Class of 3001 and Class of 3002, whatever they decide to name a potential revival, I feel like if they end up making that, it's just going to take away from another series that we could have potentially been getting instead. Like us getting Class of 3002 or 1, whatever you want to call it, the revival of that, it's potentially taking away from a Symbionic Titan Season 2. It's potentially taking away from a return to Codename Kids Next Door in Galactic Kids Next Door. I just feel like this does not make sense for them to do, and quite frankly, as I said before, I really don't think this is a show that's going to return. I just find it rather interesting to be seeing these quotes out there from Andre 3000 saying they're hoping to do something new with it in some type of way, so yeah, stay tuned. I mean, I just don't feasibly think it's something that's going to happen. I mean, hey, I could be wrong, but if I am wrong, I would honestly be absolutely shocked at seeing this show come back. Because here's the thing as well, I feel like when it comes to reboots and revivals and why they happen in the first place, like when it comes to a reboot is basically taking a dead franchise and trying to bring it back into the spotlight again, trying to bring it back with a modern lens, right? You're trying to revive revive your old property and bring it back to life by rebooting it. So that makes sense, right? It's a popular series from back in the day that's been dead for a long time, so we're trying to bring it back for a new generation, for a new audience. Revivals, on the other hand, are shows that are, again, popular from back in the day. Maybe they never got a conclusion. Maybe they were so popular that the executives at the network want to make more of it, so they're just going to continue the old series and make more of it, calling it a revival series, or just continuing it with new seasons of the original show. In both cases, when you're doing something like that, you're doing it with a popular series, and of course the reason for that is because you want to bring back a series that was successful for you in the past, because it's the safest bet, right? You're rather certain that it's going to do well again because it already has a pretty loyal and robust fan base. Class of 3000 does not fall into that category. Class of 3000 would be a huge risk for the network because, again, it's a series that only got 2 seasons, which consisted of only 28 episodes, so 14 per season, let's say, and 2 of which never even aired because the series was canceled because it wasn't exactly the most successful of shows. So to me, it makes absolutely zero sense for this series to be returning. I don't think it's going to happen. I think this is just a bunch of, hot air that's being thrown out there. Maybe Andre 3000 is putting this quote out there because he's been trying to get a reboot or a revival series at Cartoon Network, hasn't been successful with it, so he's hoping that people like me, people on Twitter, discuss this and it starts to drum up interest in a Class of 3000 series. I just don't think this is happening at the end of the day. I just really don't. And Cartoon Network from back in that era, they do have a lot of series like this, like Class of 3000, Hi Hi Puffy Amiyumi, My Gym Partner's a Monkey. I could go on and on and on. They have a lot of series like Camp Lazlo 2 that fall into this category of they were good shows back in the day, but they weren't the most popular series. Like, remember Squirrel Boy? Squirrel Boy was a show that I enjoyed watching, but Squirrel Boy is not really a show that gets a lot of recognition when you think of Cartoon Network's past. Same thing with Class of 3000, same thing with My Gym Partner's a Monkey. These are all shows from Cartoon Network's past that weren't the most successful. They weren't the biggest shows on Cartoon Network, but they did exist. And I feel like all of those shows that I just mentioned, they're not going to come back because it just doesn't make sense for the network to do so. Like, yes, they had their time in the spotlight, if you will. They had their time on the channel. They were enjoyable series to watch in most cases. I don't think those series are ever going to come back, like The Life and Times of Juniper Lee, another show that falls into that category. And honestly, this is something that, real quick side note before I sign off, Cartoon Network had a lot of series like this back in the day, a lot of those more niche, smaller series that they were enjoyable to watch, but they weren't your Ben 10, they weren't your Powerpuff Girls, they weren't your Ed and Eddie, they weren't your heavy hitters on the channel, but they were nice complementary shows. This is something that we don't really see anymore with Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network, it seems like to me, they're just trying to come out with heavy hitter after heavy hitter because they're not willing to take the risk on these smaller series that really complement and add variety to the lineup. And hopefully that's something we see change over the next 5 or so years, because otherwise, Cartoon Network doesn't exactly have the biggest or most robust library. It's pretty small. There's barely any shows on the channel. After Craig of the Creek ends, we're going to have like probably 3 shows maybe airing semi-consistent new episodes on the channel. So yeah, that's not a great look. We'll make a video on that in the new year discussing that. For now, Class of 3000 is apparently in discussions to maybe get a revival series, but I really don't think that's ever going to happen. Anyways, let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about all this. Do you guys think we're going to get a Class of 3000 series, or do you agree with me that there's a lot of smoke here, but there's probably not anything actually going on behind the scenes? If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to see more content like this from DC Network. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.